Hey everyone. I'm super excited to have Lance back. Welcome back, Lance. How are you today?
Hey Tanya, I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm really good. It looks super sunny in Florida there.
Yeah, it is. It's a little cloudy today, but overall it's always still sunny here.
Well, anytime you want to send that my way, we're
Especially
definitely
now.
moving into our fall here in Canada. I've just received my sad light therapy. I don't want to call it sad lamp, but like my light therapy lamp, and I've been using it for the last 3 days, and it's helping.
Awesome.
Hopefully,
Awesome.
that will be my not being able to sun gaze as much is already affecting me.
Yeah, yeah, certainly.
So I'm super excited to have you back, Lance. Thank you so much. I thought we would start a little differently this time and maybe get to know you a little bit more. So let me see. When you drink coffee, how do you like to make it? What are your like tips and tricks of how you do it?
I personally like espresso. And then I will also really just sort of turn it into a cold brew. So I'll make a pot
Yeah.
and then just put it in the refrigerator so I can use it kind of as I wish.
Nice.
I drink not as much coffee as, let's say your average coffee drinker. So I can kind of space it out a little bit better that way. But I really like the espresso that you can make with it.
I do too. And do you add anything into it or just straight up espresso?
I I just take it straight.
Yeah, your guys' coffee is really because it doesn't have all those toxins and everything in it. It's better to drink it that way because you can really taste it. Like I'll admit I am a coffee snob, so I won't drink like just any coffee. And I too, like I've come to a point where I don't drink it as often, but when I do drink it, it's just like I really savor it. So it's like it has to be a good cup. I use my AeroPress and I make like an espresso and then I just add oat milk and that's it. Like I want to taste your guys' coffee. So um I really appreciate that. And let's see, what about what's if you can pick, because I know this is a hard one, um, a favorite song or artist, or even like a genre, like what kind of genre of music would you
Yeah,
like get up and like feel good?
yeah. I really like Brazilian or Portuguese bossa nova. I really like that, and also classical music. But that's more so, for relaxing and reading and just kind of hanging out before bedtime, maybe. Um,
Sweet. Do you have
yeah,
plants?
those two. What's that?
Do you have plants?
Yes, I do.
Because they love classical music.
Exactly, exactly. I've got a nice peppermint in here that I've got growing, a nice basil, and then just a few other smaller plants. But definitely, and it's so true. Like the plants thrive with beautiful music.
Oh yeah. And it's again, it's just, everything's energy and frequency. So like I talk to my plants, I sing to my plants. I've got, if they're ever like not doing good, I'll send them Reiki. I'm sure
Beautiful.
like I mean I'm hoping you might have some of your pictures of your beautiful plants for your hemp plants. If not, that's okay. But I mean those
Definitely,
we'll
definitely.
get into that.
Yeah, yeah. I'll pull those up here in a little bit, but definitely, it's those hemp plants. It was really something going there. It was really cool.
Yeah. So one more question, because I think I heard you mention before that you too use essential oils and plant medicines are huge in my life. So if you had like a go-to oil of like, if you could just have no other oil and you were only able to take like one oil with you, I know that's super hard too. What oil would you pick for that?
Rose oil.
Yeah, highest
Yeah.
frequent, well, almost the highest frequency. There's only one oil ahead of that that's higher than rose.
Really, what is it?
It's blue Idaho spruce. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
It's got a higher frequency, but rose, yeah. Like I want to hear what you have to hear say about rose.
Yeah, I mean, it's from what I've seen, you know, it was at one point, you know, viewed as the highest frequency essential oil. So you just opened my mind to something new. That's incredible. And, you know, it just smells so good. And it's very, you know, you think of rose and instantly your mind goes to more of a feminine
Mhm.
smell and feel. And it is, but it's also great for men. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
it's not something where it's just like a woman should be sniffing it, both men and women, because it's a powerful aphrodisiac for
Yep.
both men and women. And really what I do is I'll sniff it before I go to bed,
Mhm.
uh, and in the morning, to
Nice.
really just kind of help balance and activate the limbic system in the brain, because that's how it helps us process emotions, memory, recall, focus, clarity, all of that.
I love that. I haven't thought about sniffing it before bedtime. That's I'm gonna have to add that into my bedtime routine. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And you know, it really does shift things, you
Oh
know.
yeah.
And I'll sniff lavender at night too. I'll sniff rose and lavender before I go to bed. And, you know, it just ends up being something that really helps me
Mhm.
kind of just fall asleep pretty quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I love that. And it's true. Like, I mean, each and every one of us have the divine feminine and masculine in us. So you are like, it is more feminine smell is what we think, but I mean, we all have that within us. So it makes so much sense.
Exactly, exactly. And, you know, it's something where, like, yeah, we have to balance, you
Mhm.
know, it is good to balance. And it is good, of course, for us to express, you know, the ultimate forms of, you know, masculinity or femininity, depending on the situation. But, you know, it is good to have those things in balance in the right times.
I agree. I agree. Okay, well, thank you for sharing those, Lance. I'm sure everyone will enjoy kind of getting to know you a little bit more. um, so I would love to start off with talking about your guys' hemp oil. I know we kind of talked about the plants. Let me share so that you can share. Um, I think,
Yeah.
let me know if I did that right because I'm still figuring this thing out. Um,
Let me see if I can pull this up here.
okay, so for me, like, Mary Jane is nothing new in my life. You know, as Cypress Hill would say, I love Mary Jane.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, I mean, for so many reasons. And I can honestly say I have tried many hemp oils, many. So, and I absolutely love your guys' hemp. It like, and mine only just came. I think it was last week that it came. I was like patiently. It took a little bit longer because shipping to Canada right now is taking longer.
Yeah.
Um, but I was blown away how quickly, because like I said, I've used hemp oil for years. I've used different types of hemp oils. And it's like your guys' stuff, all your products are just like, it's like instantly, as soon as you start taking them, you're noticing them. Like my sleeps are so deep now, and I'm able to wake up like really feeling refreshed. And I mean, the benefits of hemp oil, oh, just look at that. Like, that's just like, I don't have mine finished yet. It's been
Nice.
unfinished for a long time, but oh, when I see those photos.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and the fragrance of them were intense and incredible. Um, you can see a lot of them right here. This is a really beautiful photo. Um, yeah, just really, really incredible stuff. So what we're doing different is, so with this, we can find, okay, so our strain of hemp that we're using is, let me pull this one up here. Um, so the strain of hemp that we're using, Tanya, is referenced by NCBI as the gold standard in hemp genome sequencing. And so what this means is the strain of hemp that we have, you know, with these photos down here. this strain is viewed as a top genetic strain by the government. And so what that means ultimately is we have an abundance of different phytocannabinoids in there, and we outperform competitors quite abundantly. It depends on the product and the batch and the company and so forth. So we don't make claims around how much, because it really does depend. But we consistently outperform all the top leading ones that people know about. And we've got the test to actually do that. Now we don't publish that because there's a lot of different things where you could, it varies, but it is real and true. And then what we're doing is we're taking this whole plant and we're kind of pulling off the bud, the leaves here. And then we literally press and squeeze all the cannabinoids out of it, including CBD, with organic coconut oil MCT. Okay. And so that helps to make this clean product. There's several companies doing CO2 extraction, and there's several companies doing hexane. CO2 is better than hexane, but what we're doing in terms of cleanliness and also extraction, this method that we use performs better than even CO2 in terms of how much we're pulling out of the good compounds, and we're not bringing in any residual content that we don't want in there.
And I want people to understand like how important that aspect right there is, because it truly does make your guys' product the cleanest I've ever tried. And I can taste it like, I mean, I love the taste of your guys' hemp oil. It tastes so, you can just tell. I have this new thing when I got sick a couple years ago here when this all started, and my taste buds changed. I lost my smell and my taste buds changed, but I can instantly taste chemicals and toxins now in things. And so I can also taste when things are really clean. So I just wanted to kind of share that.
Yeah, thank you so much, because that's a big compliment for a lot of reasons, and we hear that from people too, because you can taste the difference in it. It does taste different from other CBD or hemp products, and it's like the taste of hemp and CBD where it can be kind of drying. Mm-hmm. You can taste that with this, but it's so much less than any other product that I've tried. And I think it makes it more palatable for people and just easier to consume in general. And also for pets too.
Yeah. For pets, it's huge.
Yes.
Sometimes we forget about our pets, but.
Yeah. I mean, we've all heard of a lot of different success stories of people using CBD and hemp on their pets and them actually seeing the difference in their pets, whether it's how their hair looks, the way they move, their mood. There is noticeable differences that can take place, with these compounds, because they're affecting the endocannabinoid system within the pets too. They've got it, we've got it, and it just helps so many different areas of the body.
Yeah. If you have any little pets that have like separation anxiety when you leave, or they're anxious, like this is definitely my go-to for that, for sure. And I know we can't really talk about like health claims because there's still so many censorship. But I originally started hemp like way back to help with like inflammation in my body, anxiety, and sleep. Those were my like main, as well as like I said, I'm not new to Mary Jane and all that. So, I mean, I know the benefits on a cellular level too. Like that's a huge thing, is this like on a cellular level. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. We extract 120 different cannabinoids from this plant that we grow. And it's partly because of the plant and partly because of the infusion method that we do with that coconut oil. Yeah. So it does make just a really unique product that people feel. And that's the most important thing, because there's a lot of people who've spent money on CBD and hemp and haven't felt a thing.
Yeah.
There was a study done. There's 40% of companies that were tested didn't have the amount of CBD in their product that they claimed. And, you know, I think some of that was probably intentional. Some of it maybe unintentional. But the point is, you didn't know what was actually in there. Like almost half of the companies that were tested. And, you know, we're guaranteeing what's in there, and we've got our COA to do that. And, you know, we know what's in there.
I love that. I love that. And I know a question that comes up quite a bit that I see is people ask if there's THC in there. And when you're using the whole plant, there's actually no way to not get some THC. Can you speak on that a little bit, just so that people can understand that? Like, you're not going to feel the effects of THC from it because it's not a high enough amount.
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, exactly. So there is THC in it, but it's below the federal legal limit, which is 0.3%. And because it's below that, we can sell this legally in all 50 states, and it won't get a person high.
No, not at all.
Yeah. And people may ask, okay, well, will I test positive if I take it? There's no way to first ever guarantee that a person won't. And a company will never say that, because then it will allow a person to do what they want, you know, outside of consequences. But what we do know is it's such a small amount for most people, they're not going to test positive for it. And, you know, very simple ways to, I don't want to say beat a test, because you're not trying to beat a test, but the way that the body metabolizes it is just simply through, you know, exercise and sweating. You can go into a sauna, and like, it would be an interesting test to show that someone who's not taken this before takes it, and then, you know, what do they test at all? Probably not. And then if they go and sweat or exercise, there's not going to be anything there, because it's just getting metabolized out.
And eating clean and detoxifying. Like, I used to work at a bong shop, a vinyl records and bong shop in the back. So we always had people coming in and needing to like detox for a test. So, yeah, but yeah, definitely not anything like this. This is people who were partaking, obviously. Thank you. That I know I gotta watch what I say here, but I did, and like, I'm trying to think how many years ago this was, but it was a number of years ago when I was still seeing like westernized doctors, and I had a test come up that I had to have a biopsy done. And intuitively, it was like, start on like high doses of hemp oil. Like, that's just what came to me. So there's actually I used to own a store here, and my old landlord has a place called Hemp Haven. So he actually does his own, which until I switched over to yours, his has been the one I've used for the last couple of years. But so I went to him and I got it, and I did high doses of it. And then when I went back and had other tests done, they were shocked. They were like, did we mess up on your original test? Like, nothing's showing there anymore. And I mean, obviously this is just my personal experience. I'm not trying to like claim anything here, but that was my experience with it. And I mean, I was a believer then, but after that, I was full on a believer of how much hemp can do on a cellular level for you, and really like healing your body.
Truly. That's amazing, Tanya. That's really cool.
I haven't really shared that too much, because but yeah, so another one that I would love to talk to you, I want to talk, because I know you've got pine needle extract as well as the pine pollen. And if we can start with the pine needle extract, just because this is one that I have been speaking about, well, I guess throughout all of this that we've been experiencing the last couple of years. I had heard very early on about the white pine and how good it was, you know, obviously respiratory for your immune system, but also, and if I can say shedding on here, to help prevent the shedding, because I've got little ones, you know, and I work at a naturopath office. So we have people coming in all the time. And like, even though I may not have partaken in thingies, there's people around me. So that was a big thing of like, okay, I needed to figure out something that I can help. And so I started taking the pine extract right away. And then you guys, when I found yours, I love that you guys do the glycerin, because the glycerin, it's not alcohol based. So I can give this to my kids and my kids love it. So I would love to hear what you have to say about this.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Tanya. So back in 2021, there was different scientists who talked about pine needles and pine needle tea, as you remember, and a lot of people listening will remember.
Yeah.
And it went viral within our communities, and it just sort of like resurfaced. It wasn't anything new, but it just resurfaced.
Yeah.
You know, the indigenous have been using this for hundreds or thousands of years or longer, and it benefits us humans. We share some of our DNA in common with pine trees. So their different compounds help us, like the needles, the pollen, the bark, you know, a very active tree in terms of constituents that benefit us. So yeah, like you said, the pine needles, it's helping lung, respiratory, and immune function, and you know, healthy function of those systems in different ways, and also cardiovascular. You know, there's a lot of things going on why focusing on cardiovascular health is important right now, and detoxing the blood naturally and normally. And what that will do is just, you know, helps ensure that oxygen can get where it needs to get, and then the cells can do what they need to do and to be healthy. And just like you said, we don't use alcohol to hold it or preserve it. We use organic vegetable glycerin, and we do that because we really feel like this is such a high vibrational product, and we know how important it is for people to have this right now, given this global situation, that getting it out there and having people actually consume it is the most important thing. And so we wanted something that would preserve it and be a strong preservative, but something that's clean and not gonna, you know, lower the vibration of the product. So we put in organic vegetable glycerin, gives it this sweet taste. You can actually apply it topically too. Both the pine needle extract and the glycerin are beneficial for skin health. And we do it at a 1-to-4 extraction ratio, and we wild harvest up in Canada there.
I love that.
Yeah, it's so cool. Beautiful area, and working with great people on this. And it gives a good dose, 267 milligrams of the pine needle extract per dose. So that's a good amount to actually have some, you know, physiological effects.
Yeah, and my kids love it. Yeah, I love that. And you know what are your thoughts on, I've always had this kind of weird feeling around, I don't know if in the States it's the same, but in Canada, like people cut down trees for Christmas time and use like live trees in their homes at Christmas. And it's like, it's the pine, you know, like, and like you said, like we have such a connection to pine that like, if you do start, like I encourage people to like look into pine trees a little bit more. It's amazing. Like, I mean, trees connect us. I love to go outside. I don't have a pine tree, but I have a different tree that I'll just put my hands on and just take in that energy. And pine trees are amazing ones. And I always find it kind of like as I wake up more, it's like interesting that they cut down the pine trees, you know, and are using them like for what, not even a month. People have them. It depends when you do it. I mean, I've got a fake one, so I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like, I've always found that kind of interesting. And now I'm thinking about it more because it's such a beneficial tree.
Definitely.
So
That's a very interesting point. Why that? And yeah.
tree, you know, and so pine pollen, that one is newer to me. I don't have your guys's yet. I will. I'm always honest in saying that there are still products that I'm using that I'm trying to use up. So I do have a pine pollen from my work that I'm using up, but I'm super excited to get your guys's next. And I mean, when I started hearing more about the pine pollen, just different than just the pine needle, I was blown away. Like, the yellow dust of it. Like, look at that. Like, it's golden. It, to me, it just literally looks like gold.
Truly. And here's the video of it.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, so that tree is getting cut down and all that pollen is just lingering in the air. And you can see like that video goes on, or if that video would go on, that pollen would probably be hanging in the air for another 30 to 60 seconds or more. So it's so fine. And I call it cosmic stardust because it's like literally this substance that's created from the forces of the cosmos, the wind, the air, the ether, the fire, the water, the snow, the wind. All of it is forcing these pine trees to create compounds that ultimately we can consume, some of them, and we can take them in and actually benefits us. So it's known as a top superfood because it has 200 different nutrients in it. Supports healthy testosterone levels for men, estrogen levels for women, supports brain health, detoxification, cardiovascular support, endocrine function, and more. So with these 200 different nutrients, 14 vitamins, 24 minerals, all the amino acids, several different live enzymes and other compounds like SOD and glutathione is in there. Sulfur is in there, which makes up MSM. And then nature's highest source of the steroids, which function like hormones in the human body without taxing the glandular system. And like we talked about earlier, we share some of our DNA in common with the pine trees. And, it just helps us in different ways. But these phytoandrogens help this anabolic growth, and it creates these, this spurt of this growth. And for that to happen in such a time, this is after about 72 hours, it needs all those different nutrients. So it needs the amino acids, it needs the vitamins and minerals for that growth to take place, in particular, those phytoandrogens. So it helps fertility in men and women, both strong polysaccharides, which help protect the pollen's DNA. And that helps the pollen actually float through the air without being damaged by the sun. This is a short little clip, just sort of showing what it looks like out in nature and how delicate it is. So, it goes on with the fact that this relates to the pineal gland. So this statue, Fontana della Pigna in Vatican, is right there. And clearly it showcases the pine cone. Yeah. I think it's representing the pine cone, the pineal gland, and, the power of the pineal gland and what that represents. We know that relates to melatonin, dimethyltryptamine, DMT, and other hormones. And in particular, pine pollen is nature's highest source of DHEA. And this is commonly used for upliftment, supporting happiness, outlook, mood, positivity, and it just really helps. So what they found in this study published in Nature is that the DHEA actually helps to regulate processes in the brain in certain regions that are more like a healthy coping mechanism or a healthy way to process something that was triggering or some sort of negative emotion with it. And it actually reduced activity in regions related to negative emotions and, increased the ability to healthily process what was going on. So quite incredible that it's been shown to do that.
I'm just getting like full body chills throughout like hearing you. It's just like, wow.
Yeah, thank you. And it's awesome because if you look at this video, you can see the majesty of these trees and how big they are. Like we talked about earlier, they have to go through all the different elements in nature, in particular in the winter, to battle that. And they create compounds to protect themselves. And then when it's time, like the pollen in this late spring to harvest, they just gently release it, or it's in a place where it's easy to sort of tap it out of the tree or out of the cones, and then we can harvest that.
And is that
And
how
it
you
helps.
do it? Is it kind of like a tapping of the cones? That I've wondered that,
Yeah.
like how do you guys get this fine golden?
Yeah, it's a very labor intensive process, and it's slow. Um, and that just shows really how delicate it is, and how, like, you've seen it when you have that powder, it literally looks finer than dust. Like it's like, it's finer than your average, bin of house dirt that you would just
Yeah,
naturally gather up.
for sure.
So it's quite incredible. Again, like cosmic stardust, truly is.
I love
And
the
that,
cosmic stardust. I'm gonna call it
yeah,
that now.
awesome. Please do. Um, it's like that golden color of it just shows you, how amazing it is. And so we've got the tincture in stock right now. We're getting low on it because it sells so fast, but we do have some left right now. We are out of stock on the powder until June of 23. But the tincture will have, batch by batch as it comes. And then I think the last point to clarify with this is, so we use uncracked cell wall pine pollen. We don't crack the cell walls. There's a huge marketing gimmick around cracking cell walls. That's not really accurate. It's very misleading. So we don't crack it. So we keep cells unoxidized, because if they become exposed to air by cracking it, the nutrients start degrading, and
Yeah.
several different compounds in particular, it happens right away. So the two bins at the top is our golden pine pollen that we have. This one on the bottom is another one that comes from China, and you can just see the difference. I mean, just energetically and vibrationally, which one looks a little bit more appealing.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what we do. And, we've got many reviews on the website. All of these reviews are real, like we've talked about before. We don't buy fake reviews. They're all authentic reviews from real people.
I love that. And to give like my review, we were talking a little bit off camera, and I'd like to share with the audience is that I talk about energy and frequency a lot. And when you're working with a smaller business, and I mean, those of people that have already heard Lance speak before, you are like a fountain of wisdom and knowledge, and they can see your heart. It's a pure heart, and all of that energy and frequency goes into your products. And like I said, like, I mean, I've used a lot of these products from other companies before, like good companies, but I'm noticing a huge difference with your company, your products, and it's like instantly. And I truly believe it's that your energy, the people you're working with, the products, the way that you're extracting things, it's all of that energy going into it, and it's so noticeable. So I just wanted to like thank you guys, because I can feel the energy, and it truly does make a huge difference, opposed to like bigger companies. Like this is where, when you can talk to the person behind the business and truly know, like, I love that. So I thank you so much for that, Lance. And I appreciate any time that I'm able to, speak with you or hear you talk on I get something every time. Like, and I love that you brought up the pineal gland, because that, like I said, I encourage people to look up pine trees more, and the pine cone, and see how it relates to our third eye and our pineal gland.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for those kind words, Tanya. I really appreciate that. And everyone in the company appreciates it too.
Yeah. And also, I will say, amazing customer service. Anytime I've had to contact, like, shout out to Zane, whoever Zane is, top notch.
Awesome.
I'm sure the rest of the people are too, but amazing. So,
Yeah.
and I'm so blessed to have found you and your company. As I was saying, you have so much wisdom and knowledge. Is there anything before we end? We're at 11:44. I love that number on my time, I guess. But is there anything you would like to share? You always have such like positive, uplifting messages. I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
That's okay. Yeah. Thanks, Tanya. And we'll definitely let Zane know the nice compliment that you gave. I'll
Please
definitely
do.
tell him, and I know that he'll see this video too. So my message would be that we just continue to do the best we can. I mean, it's simple, but we're all trying the hardest we can in different ways. And, you know, we can all improve and maybe try harder, myself right at the top of that list. And not to say try harder, but, you know, just continue to focus in on what we know that we need to work on. And again, it starts with me and my life. And, you know, doing that, I think, can really help us shift timelines and move forward fast. You know, the huge new eclipse coming here on the 25th, that's going to be quite powerful. So I think right now is a good time to like complete things, clear things out, finish tasks, and prepare for the new.
So beautiful. And I'm so grateful that I have your products because they're helping me clear this. I'm seeing things clear, I'm thinking clearer, I'm sleeping better. And it's so amazing. I'll have all the links in the description as well too for people to purchase and get more information. You must be super excited for the Truther Tour coming up this weekend, which I also thank you for taking time out of. I'm sure you're super busy. You're speaking at it, right?
Yeah.
And am I right that you guys are like the only product that is kind of sponsoring?
Yeah.
That's huge.
Definitely.
Like, that's huge.
Yeah. Thank you. Lewis is a great man, and all the people working with him there, including his wife, they're all really great people, and they're doing an awesome job. Just like putting this together fast, and it's really been impressive what they've done.
Wow. Well, like, huge congratulations on that. Like, that right there, people, that tells you something, right? Like, this is the Truther Tour is huge. And to have like Lance's company as the main, you know, kind of sponsors for product that tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah. Thank you, Tanya. We're very proud to be associated with that. And, you know, in particular, again, with Lewis, he created it. There's a lot of people who've helped make it happen as well, for sure. Though it was his idea to do it and, you know, really get it out there.
Awesome. Well, have an amazing time, Lance. Thank you again. I know you guys have more products coming.
Yes,
So
very
I
soon
would
now.
love to have you back again when you have time.
Absolutely.
Many blessings and safe travels as you are on, and give everybody hugs for me. I'm kind of like over here in Canada, just being like a little jelly, but try not to be.
Yeah, definitely. I hear you. I'll give everyone a hug, and everyone will hug you back.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Lance. Have an amazing day. And yeah, you guys, I'll have all the links below. I highly encourage you to check out these products. I'll have Lance's website as well, and YouTube as well. So thank you. Have an amazing day. Much love and light to you all.
Thanks, Tanya. Thank you, everyone.
Take care.